From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a major night here on Evenings LALATE as massive stimulus checks have landed this month and are landing next month. These are 18 months of stimulus checks, and you're going to need 18 months because why? We're going to have a recession that is likely to span 24 months. And these are stimulus checks for SSI, stimulus checks for SSDI, stimulus checks for VA, stimulus checks for RB, stimulus checks for low income, stimulus checks right now. Viewers have been getting these checks since the month of March 2022, and they are holding 18 months of stimulus checks. But if you just found this channel tonight, you can get them as well. Go right in this video, become a member, and get the averages of $3,000 a month of stimulus checks, 5 checks per month. I'm going to go over these incredible stimulus checks for SSI, SSDI, VA, RB, and low income over this 1 hour broadcast. Plus, we'll talk about that brand new newsletter that's talking everywhere on people's mouths. It's news.lalate.com/newsletter. A brand new newsletter that is now open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for you to apply for stimulus checks right this minute. So you can watch a recording right now and go right into that newsletter tonight and get those stimulus checks for December, stimulus checks for January. It's the brand new newsletter that is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I'm going to go over the latest details of what you need to know across the board. Lots of major breaking news tonight as we're going to look at whether labor could fall apart faster than thought. That would be a big indication of whether there's a hard or soft recession. The latest details on the housing market. And then what we'll go over to debt levels as people come returning back from the holiday shopping season and holiday travels, bond market and crypto market as indication of where this economy is going, and the manufacturing and the fourth quarter earnings coming in just a few days as well. But big stimulus checks on a brand new website, news.lalate.com/newsletter. It's the talk of the town, and the members of the channel are absolutely praising it. Right tonight, you can become a member right now while watching the video, and then go right in and apply for stimulus checks without a blink of an eye. Plus, we'll go over to the latest details for unemployment stimulus and PEBT stimulus as well. Plus, the new proposed legislation across the board for next year. For the shores of Santa Monica, California, it's a big show. It's a big broadcast. Let's get to the breaking news. It all starts right here, right now on Evenings. And good evening, everybody. The markets are closed for December 26th, but tomorrow they reopen on December 27th. Big week when we're looking for the latest details on those unemployment claims, well, the latest details across the board. But the big news tonight is massive stimulus checks. How many? On average, 18 months of stimulus checks. On average, $3,000 a month. And on average, 5 checks per month. Fast stimulus, paying out in less than 48 hours. And these are stimulus checks for you. These are stimulus checks for SSI, stimulus checks for SSDI, stimulus checks for SSA, stimulus checks for VA, stimulus checks for RB. These are stimulus checks that became law in March 2022. Been laws ever since. And viewers been paid every month since the month of March. Just found this channel tonight. Welcome. I'm going to show you how to get these incredible stimulus checks. They're stimulus checks right now. And yes, these are stimulus checks for low income as well. Plus, we'll be turning over to unemployment stimulus checks in this recording, and then PEBT stimulus checks as well. Plus, we're going over the brand new newsletter. There's the talk of the town. That brand new newsletter is now open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at second location at news.lalate.com/newsletter. So you can join this channel right now, get an incredible membership newsletter right away by go right into that website. It's in the description of the video. It's in the pinned comments. It's at news.lalate.com/newsletter. The password is sent to you in every post round the clock on channel 1, channel 2, and channel 3. Grab the latest password. It's updated throughout the day. The latest password and the latest post across the board. But without a delay, let's go right into those incredible stimulus checks in tonight's recording, starting with those checks for SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and Rural Benefits. These are big stimulus checks, and they have been big stimulus checks since the month of March. So viewers of this channel who are on SSI, viewers of this channel who are on SSDI, SSA, VA, RB, low income, have been getting these stimulus checks since March 2022. They got in the month of December. They got the Christmas stimulus. And they're getting more checks next month in January. These are monthly stimulus checks. They're absolutely incredible. They've been law since the month of March. And tonight I'm going to show you how to get those incredible checks by first understanding when they became law, how they became law, and then go into the actual individual checks one at a time. So watch me over this 1 hour broadcast because we have a lot of money to go over. First, let's understand where they became law. They became law in March when Joseph Biden passed a series of executive actions which established the first 3 stimulus checks. These, again, are stimulus checks for SSI, SSDI, SSA, VA, RB, and low-income stimulus checks. $100,000 across the board. Go right in this video, join the channel right now, become a member, and go into that brand new newsletter that is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And then after Joe Biden's first 3 checks, A, B, and C, Congress came along and passed other stimulus checks. And those stimulus checks are E to K. And those are stimulus checks for you, SSI, SSDI, SSA, VA, RB, stimulus checks for low income as well. They're all in the membership newsletter. And I added in that membership newsletter stimulus checks L and M, N and O, P and Q. Now the newsletter up to December 23rd has been around for 2 years, was in one location, here in YouTube Alerts, Monday through Friday, 7 o'clock Pacific, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. But as a Christmas gift from me to you for 2022, I brought it to a second home on top of that. It's an additional home. And that second home is news.lalate.com/newsletter. Viewers are absolutely loving it. And one viewer sent me a beautiful, kind comment this morning saying, I love this new newsletter location. It's so simple and it's very quick and it's so easy. The website is on the screen right there. Also, the website is in the description of the video. It's also in the pinned comment. It's at news.lalate.com/newsletter. So you can become a member right this minute while watching the video. Then you go right into that newsletter. Nothing for me to send you. I don't have to send you anything at all. It's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And then the password for it is in the most recent post for members on Channel 1, Channel 2, and Channel 3. Grab the most recent member post to grab that password and go right in and read that incredible newsletter. And with that, let's go into those first 3 checks, A, B, and C, passed by Joe Biden. And there's a lot of money there. 18 months, 3,005 checks per month. Let's go into those credible first 3 checks starting right now. Check A is a $6,500 to $12,000 forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. And it's huge. Been around since the month of March. There you go. And that incredible check, how do I get it? You go right on this video, join the channel, then go right into that newsletter, now open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at news.lalate.com/newsletter. Go right into check A and click the link and go right and apply. It's that straightforward. Then stimulus check B, $15,000 to $80,000 stimulus check. Check B is the one that's helping people get big months of checks, like this viewer. Frank Mancuso, I got 18 months of mortgage, 18 months of utilities, and 18 months of high-speed internet in Florida. He is not unique. It's happening all the time. He got about 5 checks over 18 months of 5 checks per month. Folks, that's a lot of money. It's fast stimulus. And this fast stimulus is paying about 5 checks per month, 18 months, $3,000 a month. We're not done there yet because the next check after that is check C. Check C is a beautiful check for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and more. And it's been on this channel for 2 years. Let's look at those incredible success stories for Check C. Again, in the membership newsletter, it tells you who to call, what to say, and how to say it for rent, utilities, and mortgage assistance. Do you want $30,000 of rent? Well, get some Check C. Join this channel right tonight. Become a member. And then you want $15,000 of utilities? Of course you do. Go under this video. Become a member and get that incredible Check C right now. And then snap and the combinations of checks. Look at those wonderful combinations of checks. Do you want $15,000 of combinations of checks? Absolutely. $23,000 from Nisi, she went to $50,000. And here is Mark, who was at $32,000. Well, what did Mark do? He went to $50,000. Then he went to $100,000. Then he went to $166,000 of stimulus checks. These are stimulus checks for SSI, SSDI, SSA, VA, stimulus checks RB. These are stimulus checks for low income. And Lorraine was at $105,000 of stimulus checks. She went to $155,000. Dragon, triple member to all 3 channels, is sitting on $170,000 of stimulus checks. because she pounced really well. You got to listen to learn, watch all the videos, stay to the very end, become a member, go right into that membership newsletter, and apply for those incredible stimulus checks. And these are just the first 3 checks in this broadcast. We're going to continue after stimulus check C, where we are right now, to stimulus checks E through K. They're coming up in second, and those are passed by Congress. Then after that, we're going to L and M, N and O, and P and Q. But let's go over for just a blink of an eye to PEBT stimulus checks and unemployment stimulus checks. PEBT stimulus checks and unemployment. First, unemployment stimulus checks. Unemployment stimulus checks are big. They're thousands of dollars in some cases. And who are these for? These are for individuals who are W-2 employees who've been fired by their bosses. So how do you get those unemployment stimulus checks? Step 1, reach out to your state's Department of Unemployment. Prefer the websites. You can do it on your phone. And in that step 1, you have 3 questions to answer. The first question is the most important. What date were you fired? This is for you if you're a W-2 and you were fired. So you need to make sure you say the date correctly. For example, in this example, the date you were fired was October 1st. Do not use December 26th. Use October 1st. Because if you use the wrong later date, you can lose thousands of dollars of stimulus checks. In step 1, they're going to ask you 2 other questions. They're both answers of yes. First, are you willing to work? Yes. Are you able to work? Yes. What is willing to work? That means you're mentally up to working. And willing and able to work means you're physically up to working. Pretty easy. You're approved. Then you're going to go into step 2. The website will guide you through this. The website will ask you to certify for benefits on a weekly basis. This is a fancy way of saying, do you want some stimulus checks on a weekly basis? Answer, yes. So step 2, the first item of business is they will have you do the first week you were unemployed. In this example, it's October 1st. So the week of October 1st, do you want a stimulus check? Yeah, I do. That is week 1. Then they'll have you do week 2 and then week 3 and bring it all the way up to the present. Can you be too early for asking for these weeks? Absolutely. The website will tell you if you're too early. Can you be too late? Generally not. So if you just found this channel tonight and you have 3 months of unemployment you think you're owed, yeah, the first check will be 3 months of unemployment. If you have a power outage, don't worry. If you have a phone outage, a battery outage, don't worry. The website will pick up where you left off. And if you're too early, the website will tell you you're too early to ask for that week. That is the incredible unemployment stimulus. In 2023, the Democrats and Republicans proposed to merge bills together, and those bills are for Social Security reform. This is the only part of the broadcast right now, this graphic, where we're talking about something that's not law. Everything else in this recording is law, has paid out. They proposed to merge several bills together, Republicans and Democrats, that would collectively end the marriage penalty, end the income cap, lower the eligibility age of Medicare, hashtag Purple Power, hashtag SS200, and potentially give you $200 monthly raise and then a $2,000 stimulus check. What's at issue? PEBT stimulus, which comes up right after this recording, is heating up. For example, actually, let's just do it right now. PEBT stimulus is stimulus for younger families. And that is for what happened during the pandemic. The bills were not good then, and the payments are behind. So the payments are landing this week. For example, in Arizona, the National School Lunch Program, anyone that was enrolled in it in the month of May 2021, are still getting paid checks. $391 PEBT checks are landing preloaded in the mail for Arizona residents tonight. Eligible families with school-age children will receive those checks and those cards in the mail. But what about elderly people? The same concept is there as well. You were not paid enough during the pandemic. Why? Because your benefits were tied to COLA. And COLA only works when there's inflation. There was no inflation in 2021. So what do they want to do? $2,000 raise one time or payment one time to get you caught up, and then $200 monthly raise to keep you consistent. It's huge. Then remove the income cap, the asset cap, lower the eligibility age of Medicare, and there you rock and roll. We'll be tracking the story throughout 2023. Again, this is the only item in this recording that is not law. Let's now go into those other stimulus checks, E through K, which were passed by Congress back in March, and they're absolutely incredible. And those stimulus checks, E through K, heat up right now. Again, these are stimulus checks for SSI, SSDI. SSA stimulus checks, VA stimulus checks, low income stimulus checks. And let's go into those incredible stimulus checks E through K. Again, these were the ones done by Congress back in March. Stimulus check E is a beautiful $7,500 stimulus check. Stimulus check F is a gorgeous $4,000 stimulus check. Stimulus check G, a great 30% off. Stimulus check H, $2,000 stimulus check. Love it. Then stimulus check I, a great $8,000 stimulus check. Oh, it keeps on getting better. Then I and J are both $8,000, and then K is a $14,000 stimulus check. Where are these? These are all in the membership newsletter for SSI, SSDI, SSA, VA, RB, low income. Anyone who makes $75,000 or less, this is for you. It's incredible. And those are the stimulus checks E through K. Grab them tonight, become a member, go right into that brand new newsletter, which is open right now and around the clock. Grab the password from those recent posts on any of these three channels. Then after that, after those checks from Congress, I found you other checks, and those are L and M, N and O, and P and Q. At stimulus check L is $100,000 of average of loan industry money. M, a $4,000 check stimulus. And then N, do you want a brand new tablet, computer, and laptop for New Year's? We'll get stimulus N, and it's wonderful. It's down the membership newsletter, stimulus check N. O, zero down payment, zero closing costs for a brand new mortgage, first-time home buyer. And then stimulus P, 30% for a refi. And then stimulus Q, a gorgeous, wonderful $4,000 stimulus check. And there you go. Those are your big, bold, beautiful federal stimulus checks. Again, how do I get them? Step one, you go right under the video and become a member. You become a member right tonight. Then step two, you go right into the brand new membership newsletter, which is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And you don't have to wait for anything. You don't have to wait for a newsletter to be delivered from me to you. You go right into the newsletter right now while you're watching this video. It's at news.lalate.com/newsletter. A link to that description is in the description. A link to that website is in the description of this video. It's also at the top of the chat and the pinned comment. Go right into news.lalate.com/newsletter. That is the second new home to the newsletter, launched on December 23rd. Go right in and get those incredible stimulus checks one at a time. They're absolutely beautiful, and those are those great stimulus checks. Let's learn a little bit more about them. How many checks? Well, there's about 300,000. Fastest routing time, 2 days. Johnny started on Monday. By Wednesday, he had 45,000. By Friday, he had 80,000. 15 applications in, half rejected, half approved. Then next week, he helped mom and dad each get 50,000. And then he got 20 friends and neighbors, $250,000. It's 18 months of stimulus checks, $3,000 a month, 5 checks per month, and they're absolutely huge. And that's what you need to do in rock and roll. Get these big stimulus checks. So PEBT stimulus checks are coming to millions of Americans, and we'll be covering more about those PEBT stimulus checks in tomorrow's recording. Unemployment stimulus checks are available right now, and then the stimulus checks for SSI, SSDI, SSA, anyone who's low income, 75,000 or less, or 150,000 or less, a married couple, have been lost since March. And they've been getting them every month since the month of March. And they got them in December. They got them for Santa Claus. They got them for Thanksgiving. They got them for Christmas. They're getting them for January. What's important to understand is that once you get this money, you save it up and you keep on getting more of it. Again, this is stimulus checks for SSI, SSDI, SSA, VA, RB. These are stimulus checks right now. They've been lost since March, and we're going to go over more about them in the big second half. But first, let's go over what's going on with this economy right tonight. Tonight, we're approaching the month of January, and the month of January is when we start to see whether this economy will endure a hard recession for 2 years or a soft recession for 2 months. Jump to the live chat right now. Which one do you think it's going to be, hard or soft? I've been recording for over a year. It's going to be hard. I was the first American financial recorder to record that the U.S. economy would go into recession for 2 years, starting on January of 2023. But tonight, the situation's changed. Why? Because during that duration, we have gone from only me talking about recession, now everyone talking about recession. But there is still some contrast. Some people say it's going to be a 2-month soft recession. Other people say it's going to be a 2-year hard recession. How do we know the details? That's the breaking news coming up right now on a big, bold, beautiful Afternoons LA. In tonight's recording, we examine stimulus and also examine the economy. When we know if it's going to be a 2-year recession? When are we going to know if it's going to be a 2-month recession? The markets are closed today because it's December 26th, but the analysis is not over, nor is the stimulus closed. Stimulus is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with a brand new newsletter website. It's at news.lalate.com/newsletter. As that one viewer wrote in a beautiful comment on the channel this morning, she says, I love this new newsletter. It's easy. It's so simple. You just go to a website and you read it and you apply. Click, 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 apply, apply, apply. Stimulus checks, largest one, $100,000. Smallest one, $8,000. Stimulus checks for repairs, the computer, the home appliances, the car, the free internet, the tablet, the laptop, the computer. Stimulus checks for rent, utilities, mortgages, this is more. And I'm always finding you more stimulus checks. These are federal. They're from the federal government. They've been lost since March. And this is how you do it. Let's use Lynn Clan as an example. She got stimulus checks in March. Then she got more stimulus checks in April. What is she doing? She's not taking money out of her wallet every month to pay for those bills. Now those bills are paid for because of stimulus. For example, the rent and the 4 utilities. So 5 bills per month, she doesn't have to pay for. So let's say she would normally have to pay $4,000 for those 5 bills per month. She doesn't have to pay $4,000 or take $4,000 out of her wallet this month. And next month, she doesn't have to take $4,000 out again. The month after that, she still does not have to take $4,000 out. After 3 months of not having to take $4,000 out of her wallet to pay bills, she's going to have $12,000 in her wallet because she's not spending her money on her bills. Stimulus is paying her bills for her. And that's how you rock and roll. Imagine how this looks after 18 months when a recession is going to be 24 months. This looks really good for you. So go right on this video, become a member. And the big second half, we're going to go over more about these incredible details. Plus, we'll be going into the latest on what's going on with this economy. And for something brand new tonight, we're going to take the data that we currently have on several subject matters, and then take that data and say, when does that data become worrisome? And then we're going to put it all together and say, okay, which of these data points are an indication of a 2-year recession or a 2-month recession? You've never seen this anywhere before, and you're not seeing this anywhere else tonight, except on LALATE. It's how you learn to earn. In the big second half, we'll go over the importance of people who really are watching well on this channel and learning so much, and why you are going to be dramatically ahead during the next 2 years. For the shores of San Marcos, California, we're just getting started. I'll see you back in 60 seconds as America's most loved show in prime time for financial news continues. It's evenings.
Light. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE.
And the excitement continues right now in a big, bold, beautiful second half of evenings, LA, from the shores of Santa Monica, California. Hope you're having a good night. And our deepest thoughts and prayers to the people of the Midwest, Southeast, and New England enduring that really horrible weather tonight. So hopefully you all stay safe and calm. In the big second half, we're going to go over the breaking news on this stimulus, plus the latest details on the recession and the economy. It's a big second half from the shores of Santa Monica, California. How are you? Good evening, and let's get to the breaking news starting right now. Stimulus has been lost since the month of March, and that stimulus is still law tonight. So what you need to do is go right in this video, become a member, and get those incredible stimulus checks. What do you do when you do that? Well, you're getting monthly checks. And by getting monthly checks, you're no longer taking that cash out of your wallet. Let's say your monthly bills are $5,000. Well, then suddenly you don't have to take $5,000 out of your wallet every month. Someone else is paying those bills. And the more months this goes by, the more money you're saving up. As Lynn Glenn says, I'm saving it all up. So let's look at this graphic right now. 18 months of checks, stimulus checks on average, is being paid out to viewers of this channel on SSI, SSDI, SSA, VA, and RB. After 1 month, you have $3,000 extra in your wallet. After 5 months, you have $15,000 of extra stimulus checks in your wallet. That's just 5 months. The average viewer of this channel is getting 18 months of stimulus checks. So you see how this adds up very, very quickly. 10 months, that's $30,000 extra in your wallet. So you don't have to take the money out, and that's why it's so huge. Now, what's important to understand is that in 2023, there's two potential events that are going to happen. One of them is a 2-month recession, and the second one is going to be a 2-year recession. But which one is it? In this big second half, we do something we've never done before. We're going to take economic data that you and I discuss every night on this channel, and we're going to look at the data and say which points would signify a 2-year recession. What is bad data and what is good data? What is scary data and what is good data? Let's start right now with labor. Number of jobless claims, new, and number of jobless claims, continual, is released every Thursday. So where would we get worried about a long 2-year recession? If the jobless claims new jumped to 260,000 on a Thursday, and that is the duration that we've been seeing happen in recent weeks on this channel. So we saw the number of new jobless claims on this channel grow from about 140,000 in the summer to a whopping 230,000 by the middle of the summer to 260. Then it fell all the way back down to 180. Tonight is about 211, 230. So it is on the higher end, but it's still not at that massive 260. If we saw those new jobless claims surge to 260, that would be a big warning signal. Next warning signal would be the continuing unemployment claims. These are people who were unemployed last week and are unemployed this week. That's also released on Thursday. It's currently hovering at about a 2.65 million unemployed claims long term. But if those continuing jobless claims surge higher to a 2.75 million continual jobless claims, that would be a big warning signal of a long, dark 2-year recession. And the unemployment rate. The unemployment rate is released once a month as part of the non-farm payroll numbers. That number will be released in just a few days from now. Non-farm payroll shows you how many jobs are being created, and the unemployment rate shows you how many people are unemployed. The number is currently in the 2% range, but if it heads to 3%, whoa. Get ready for everyone and their sister and brother on Wall Street say big trouble, because unemployment rate is one of those numbers that everyone talks about. Now, what about Americans, however? What is their opinion of the unemployment rate? Well, in a brand new report released just days ago, when Americans were asked if you lost your full-time in-store job, how would you feel? They said, I'm not worried because there's a replacement job ready for me. Really? That is the deep troubling news tonight, because that's actually untrue. The magnitude of replacement jobs for even in-person jobs is shrinking very quickly. So Americans think they can quit the job, and they think that if they're fired, there's a replacement job. Neither is correct. And that's why that unemployment rate is so critical. What is Wall Street and I looking at that unemployment rate as well? Well, the Federal Reserve wants to raise rates, and in raising rates, they understand unemployment is going to get worse. But would the Federal Reserve pivot? No. Does Wall Street believe the Federal Reserve would pivot if the unemployment rate goes to, let's say, 4%? I think they think that, but it's not going to happen. So the unemployment rate could surge even higher than 3%, and the Federal Reserve is not going to change. Again, these are the data points for us to watch. If these data points, any of them kick in, you got to be worried about a 2-year dark recession. Let's jump over to housing. Mortgage rate, inventory levels, and builder confidence levels. Now, builder confidence levels are very bad, the worst of a generation, and every month they're worse than the prior month. But if they get even worse, the builders would know before you and I that we're going into a 2-year recession. Inventory levels. Inventory levels, very, very controversial. Many people believe that inventory levels will stay low in the housing market even if we are in a recession, meaning that the number of homes available for sale will not go to those massive numbers like the last recession, even if this economy gets even worse. Do I agree? It's potentially true, yes. And then over the housing market, the mortgage rate could surge to 7%. If it does, get ready for the housing market to really tip us into a 2-year recession. The mortgage rates are not traded. They are not determined by a bunch of bond traders. They're not determined by the Federal Reserve. These are determined by the mortgage industry. And they've surged from 3% to 6% this year. It was a very quick surge. I predicted them to happen. 3 to 4, then 4 to 5, then 5 to 6 really quickly. But could it go to 7%? I believe if it does, that could be a big indication we're dipping into a long recession. The third series of data points I want us to look at is debt levels, default rates, and savings gone. Now, this is the one story that everyone knows. Everyone will be going, oh my goodness, and everyone will get worried when these three subject matters are on broadcast media at 5 o'clock in prime time. Debt levels are the highest levels of the generation. This is credit card debt. And the credit card spending is still out of control. It's continuing out of control after it's first started to its highest levels in October. It's likely to continue into January until, next step, default rates grow. When are those credit card defaults going to kick in? The viewers of this channel, when asked this question earlier this year, said January 2023. They believe that the consumers are going to spend big sums of money the holiday season, not on retail, but on travel and leisure. Those $3,000, $5,000 trips with hotel reservations are going to cost people $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, and that's when the debt levels are going to go even higher. And guess what happens? If they don't have the cash to pay for those credit card items, they go into default. And that is where we go to Jamie Dimon with those savings accounts gone. A series of reports heated up about a week ago where Jamie Dimon, JP Morgan Chase, and one of the chief economists at KPMG said savings accounts are gone or going to go away. Which one do I believe it is? I think it's a combination of them. First, I want to go through low income, then middle class, lower middle class, and then upper middle class. Lower income, low income. I believe their savings accounts are already gone. That's what KPMG's chief economist basically said. A lot of Americans' savings accounts are gone. They have nothing saved up. I believe that's the case in low income. Then let's go to Jamie Dimon. Jamie Dimon said spring of 2023, just about 2 months from now. Who do I believe that is? I believe that is lower middle class. That's what KPMG said. It was middle class. But I want to be very specific. I think it's lower middle class is spring of 2023 when the savings accounts are going to be gone. Upper middle class. When would their savings accounts likely be gone? If nothing else improves this economy, likely by the middle to late 2023, it's really troubling across the board. Savings accounts gone, credit card limits exhausted, credit card debt due. What happens? Repossessions, collections, all those type of things, and it gets really, really dark very quickly. And that would be around February, according to Jamie Dimon, where Americans have no savings left, and the debt levels are really kicking in. KPMG says this right now. I believe it just depends on whether it's low income this year, lower middle income early next year, or upper middle class the end of a later 2023. And that is a story that's going to be front page news as indicative of a dark recession when it happens. Let's go over the next story. We're looking across the board. And that is, after we're looking at savings gone, it would be the markets. The bond market higher, the stock market lower, and crypto even lower. Let's go over the details of this right now. You know that bonds go up when stocks go down, but what am I looking at specifically for stocks in 2023 that indicates where this economy is and how we're heading there? I want to see some of the blue chips And if those blue chips really fall apart, boy, folks, big trouble. In a recession, the stock market goes down 50%. In some cases, we're only down 20, 30%. Some stocks have really took a bad year, like Tesla down 70%. But the vast majority of the stock market about down 20 something percent. If the whole market heads to 50%, you know you're in a 2-year recession. Number one. Number two, I want to see some of those blue chips, like a John Deere, tractor trailers, like aerospace, like a Boeing, with the airlines buying the new planes. Then I want to see a little bit of technology as well. If we see the blue chips really struggling in spring of 2023, you know it's going to be a 2-year recession. You know it's going to be a 2-year recession. If you see tech struggling in early 2023, like on Amazon, you know it's going to be a 2-year recession because tech is supposed to be a bellwether for a recession. They're supposed to be able to endure a recession. There you go. And then the bond market, they go up and the stocks go down. Finally, over to crypto. Crypto's going to get worse. It ain't going to get better. If you have a 2-year recession, you're going to see Bitcoin going from a 17,000 to less than a 10,000. If you see a 2-year recession and have Ethereum go from a 1,200 to a 700, you're absolutely going to have that happen. Why? Because this is what happens with crypto, and I haven't covered this in a while, so let me go back over this again. Crypto is seen as a riskier investment. And when things turn worse, you get rid of the riskier investment first. You don't get rid of the safer investment. So Americans who have debt, and that debt is called, and they need to call up some cash. They have to free up some cash somewhere. They can sell the house? No. Where they get some free cash? Sell some Ethereum. Sell all the Ethereum. Sell all the Bitcoin. I'm going to take a loss. Take the loss so that you do not lose the car or do not lose the other item that's facing default. That's what's happening in a bad economic environment. The more risky asset gets liquidated first by the consumer. They get rid of the riskier asset, and they know they're going to take a loss, but they just get rid of it first, and they keep the safer, less risky investment, like a treasury bond. They keep that, and they get rid of the crypto and very quickly. And that are those elements to watch for, see, a potential 2-year recession that's very dark. Are there other guiding lights for us to look at? And they are these: manufacturing, fourth quarter earnings, and foreign guidance. So manufacturing index have been on this channel for a few years, but they are often brushed over. They're critically important. Manufacturing index, of which there are about 3 released every month, tell you whether manufacturing has grown or shrunk. If it shrinks, it means the economy is getting weaker. If it's growing, it means there's more jobs. The economy is growing. So you want to see if that manufacturing index, of which is about 3 every month, shrinks dramatically in the next 60 days. And then we turn to fourth quarter corporate earnings and forward guidance. This, my friends, is perhaps the most important part of this channel in the next 60 days. Those fourth quarter corporate earnings that come in January 2023 and 2024 will undoubtedly tell us if this is a 2-year recession or a 2-year recession. And I'm not alone in that statement. Everyone and their sister and brother on Wall Street is waiting for those corporate earnings the first few weeks of January 2023 into February. It's going to take a few weeks to get all the different elements. So do not judge it based upon the first company. We have a lot of different industries to look at. If those corporate earnings are really bad, then 2-year recession. If the corporate earnings are sort of not that bad, then potentially a 2-month recession. And again, we have to look at a lot of different industries, not just 1 or 2, 3 industries. Here's the issue. Fourth quarter is September, October, November, December. October was Halloween. It wasn't that great a retail environment. November was Black Friday. It was horrible. We already know Black Friday did not deliver in-store brick and mortar sales. It did deliver decent numbers in online. And then December. December is currently quite weak. And so if you don't see those earnings coming in October, November, December, and of course September as well, then those corporate earnings could be very, very weak for fourth quarter when announced in January, February of next year. What could happen thereafter? Layoffs, store closures, hiring freezes, and people struggling with the reality that their mindset was wrong. I can get fired, I can find another job. Nope, there are no new jobs. That's what we're watching for in that non-farm payroll number coming out in just a few weeks from now. It's for the pre-recession when we see how many jobs are created. There's very few jobs created in early 2023. There's going to be no replacement job when you get laid off. And people will be here asking for unemployment assistance. And that's why this channel is so important. That's why knowing where this economy is going is so important. So let's go back over these elements right now and let's put them together in a day in which the markets are closed for December 26th and understand why we're doing this and understand how this is going to separate you, Purple Hawks, from everyone else. Everyone else that just sort of goes from $200 checks to $200 checks, maybe they're going to send me $400, maybe they're going to find me $100. They're not going to survive a two-year recession. They ain't going to cut it in a two-year recession. Two-year recession is going to be very pronounced, and it's going to be very, very downward spiraling. A lot of people are going to be hurting because you just saw in this recording, all the way from lower income to middle class are all going to be struggling for their bills. And that's why you need to get massive stimulus right now. And you need to save up the stimulus, as Lynn Glenn has been doing. She's been saving her stimulus checks every month since March. So she's not paying for those 5 bills per month. She's saving the money. And that's $3,000 saved this month, $6,000 after 2 months, 10 months, that's $30,000. That's how you do it. You start it right tonight. You don't wait to the 11th hour. So let's go back into the data where we're looking at and let's understand how this would come together. First, labor is the most indicative of where a two-year recession would be. It's also likely to cause Wall Street to say the Federal Reserve is going to stop. They ain't going to stop. Then, inventory levels going to 90 days in the housing industry, it may never, ever happen. But we may still have a two-year recession. That's an example of a data point that may never happen, even with a two-year recession. So it's a little bit complicated. All these data points first on this screen, this graphic, and all these labor and all these graphics over in housing may never happen. They may never happen, but you may still have a two-year recession. We just need to have one or more big indicators that a two-year recession is hitting. These numbers would certainly be understood by Americans at 5 o'clock in their local news. Defaults, savings gone. But this is the number that I want you, this is the graphic I want you to understand. Fourth quarter corporate earnings. When January rolls around on this channel, listen to all those corporate earnings. Are the companies missing? Are they beating on top revenue and bottom profit? For fourth quarter, which ended the months of September, October, November, December. If they beat, that's great news. We are definitely not going to have a two-year recession. We'll have a 2-month recession. But we have to see a lot of different companies from different industries doing that. If we only see 1 or 2 companies and everyone else is missing, not good. And then forward guidance. They know better than you and I what's going on. If they say 2023 is going to be very difficult to get a consumer to buy our product, then they're going to give that forward guidance. They're required by law. And that forward guidance with the fourth quarter corporate earnings is why most analysts agree with me on this one. That we will know by about February of 2023 if it's a 2-month recession or a 2-year recession. Let's say that again. Most analysts, you and I, all in agreement about the following. By about a February, when we have enough of those corporate earnings in, and by then we would certainly see the details on the defaults, savings accounts gone, the repos, things being lost by repossession, things like that. By around February, we will then know if this is a 2-year recession or a 2-month recession. 2-year recession would look like this, that all the bad data just keeps on coming in every single day, every single hour, and the confidence is all gone by February. 2-year recession will look like something like, we're a consumer staples, and we had big demand for our products in November, December. You know, we understand that other parts of the economy are not doing well. We did really well. And then you jump over to something like a blue chip, like a John Deere. Oh, we did well in November, December. We sold a lot of tractor trailers. So that would be a 2-month recession, where some industries may just be in big trouble during 2023, and other industries may be fine. That's how the next 60 days on this channel, you need to be here. Finally, you and I. This morning on Mornings LALATE, I went live, and there was about, a couple hundred people watching. In the live chat, there was less than a couple hundred. And I said, you know what? You got up the day after Christmas Day, the 26th. You got up to watch a broadcast. And the markets are closed. There's nothing to report except to take what we have and reanalyze it. And that's what tonight's show was. And those people were there and they applauded that broadcast because they had learned so much about how to be ready for 2023. And that's what you're doing tonight. You're taking the time to be prepared for 2023. That's why there's going to be two different types of people in 2023. There's going to be you, and there's going to be everyone but you. Everyone but you is not going to do well because all they've done is sort of run this sort of I'll be fine narrative. I'll be fine. I get fired, there'll be another job. I can quit the job, there'll be another job. Maybe they're wrong. Maybe they're wrong. My analysis, they're going to be very wrong. Number two, people just look for $100 checks here, and then, maybe there'll be a $100 check there in 4 months. They're going to be in big trouble because no one will be able to survive a 2-year recession with $100 checks here and there and there and here. You need the type of things that Lynn Glenn is doing, which getting stimulus checks, saving it, getting stimulus checks the next month. 5 checks per month, $3,000 a month, that gets saved up, and that becomes your buffer for a 2-year recession. If it's a 2-month recession, great. Then we all go celebrate and have $12 ice cream with Nancy. But if it's not a 2-month recession, imagine that wake-up call for everyone else. As you and I have discussed for the last few months, when is the financial cliff going to hit? Jump in the live chat right now. When do you believe the financial cliff is going to hit for everyone else? Will it still be February? That's what you put it at all throughout 2022. You always put it about February or January. And you use the big spending of travel, airlines, and hotel leisure in the later months of 2022 is the reason why people go into big meltdown in early 2023. I agree with you as well right now. I don't know how much spending there was on travel and leisure, but I do know how much there's saved up, and it's not a lot by the consumers that are spending those record sums of money. So ultimately, that's not you. The way you prepare accordingly is the following. 1, watch the videos. Watching the videos is going to separate you. There's going to be 2 walks of land. And I try to make this very clear before, but let me make it a little clearer tonight. There's going to be 2 different walks of life in 2023. People who learned what was going on ahead of it happening. 6 months ahead of it, they knew what it was going to be. They prepared accordingly before it started, and they saved up appropriately for the big downturn before it happened. And then people who didn't do anything. People just let the storm hit the land, and they just sort of ran for it. And ultimately, you don't do the second. You do the first. By becoming a member today, welcome to nearly 100 new members in the last 48 hours. In fact, almost 150. Membership's way up. And thank you for that beautiful message from a nice viewer who sent it on the comments under the first video today. She said, I love the brand new newsletter. It's so easy. I just go to a website, news.lalate.com/newsletter. I type in the password, I got the password, I get it from the most recent post for members on channel 1, 2, and 3, and I go right in there. Apply for check A, apply for check B, apply for check C. It tells you where to call. Apply for checks E through K, and then L and M, N and O, and P and Q, and get that stimulus. And then get more stimulus, and keep on getting stimulus on a monthly basis till you save it up. And that's the big difference you make for yourself. You will feel better when you've done this right, because when you've done it right, you will be set in a better position for even the worst case scenario of 2023. And if we never have a recession, that's even better. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, God bless you. Our deepest thoughts and prayers for the people on the Midwest and East Coast and Southeast, and of course, New England with those horrible, horrible temperatures tonight. Keep your thoughts and prayers for them, and I'll see you throughout the night on Evenings LATE every night at 5 o'clock, stream stimulus at 7, 6 o'clock countdown, 8 o'clock extra, 9 o'clock sunset. And the programming continues throughout the morning as well. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, God bless. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA for more.